Welcome back. The show is loaded with lots of information and tips that we're sharing that you can use in your everyday life. The University of the Third Age, known as U3A, is a unique organization that provides life-enhancing and changing opportunities for older citizens. The New Horizons team met with Sylvia Schrire and two of her regional chairpersons who will be unfolding this initiative. Let's take a look.
Well, U3A is a voluntary organization, international, and its purpose is to provide stimulation and socialization to senior citizens. By senior citizens, we mean people in their third age, the first age being youth and education, the second age being one's years working and with responsibility for a family, and the third age is the time you have for yourself to do all the things you wanted to do previously and couldn't manage. It started in South Africa. It started at the millennium, and that's nearly 17 years ago. And it spreads around the country. In South Africa, we have nearly 30 U3As, about a third of them around the Cape, or around Cape Town. In the Cape area, we've got Cape Town itself, which is a misnomer because it's really southern suburbs, but it was the first. And then Tygerberg, Blouberg, Helderberg, Overberg, Athlone, False Bay, Atlantic Seaboard, Greyton, Paarl, and the newest one is Gugulethu. Most U3As meet in plenary once a month in their general meetings. Courses are held wherever we can, largely in members' homes. If they get too big for that, we move to public facilities like library activity rooms, community halls, and we also make good use of the public rooms of retirement villages as meeting places for the courses. You fill in an application form and you pay the annual subscription, which varies between about 30 and 60 Rand a year. And after that, it's almost free, 5 Rand per session for courses, and that mostly includes a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Well, it depends very much on the U3A. Now, we are lucky in Cape Town because we are one of the bigger ones. So we offer about 70 courses during the month. You know, some once a week, some once a month. And they range from scientific, like natural history, and environmental topics. We then have the languages, Afrikaans, German, French, Italian, isiXhosa, conversational or learning, and literature and history. And then we also have a number of DVDs on ballet and opera. And we have an orchestra, which has just started. And we also have practical works, for example, painting with acrylics, and we're going to have talks on art, etc. So there's a very wide range. The one thing we do not offer is cutting-edge latest technology or science, because most of our members would not be able to cope. Yes, so it's a very wide range. And of course, we also have activities like walking and circle dancing. And we're now going to have Tai Chi, yoga, and Qigong. I'm not quite sure the pronunciation, so there's a lot to offer, a wide range. Well, for the courses, the cost is usually £5, unless, of course, more material is needed. For example, if you are painting, then obviously you have to get the paints, which can work out a bit expensive. And for our general meetings, most of our meetings are in public places. And we do not pay our course leaders, it's all voluntary, though obviously they can take their expenses. And for our speakers at our general meeting, again, in Cape Town, we don't pay them, but we give a donation in their name to a charity. And if they've written books, they're allowed to sell the books. So we do try very hard to keep costs down. Well, we do have a website, which I cannot remember at the moment, and we also advertise in the local papers. And so people are free to come to the general meetings, and there they can join. And certainly in Cape Town, they're free to come to the general meetings. We don't charge for those. And so there's always a way of finding out. And we do advertise also on the radio. Yes, we do our best to attract people.
Each U3A has what we call a speaker seeker, whose job it is to go and hound people to come and talk to us. So people make use of their own contacts. For instance, I chair Athlone. And at Athlone, we were fortunate enough this year to hound 2 of our homeboys to come and chat to us. So we were delighted to have Trevor Manuel talk to us. And we had Franklin Son talk to us. We also, in June, have a special Mandela month. And 2 years ago, the late Virginia Engel spoke to us. So it depends on the U3A concern and the ability of the speaker seeker to attract one. People in Cape Town, they have their own connections, and they have seen Peter Dirk A speak to them, Tim Noakes, Judith February. We try to get speakers to match the kind of flavor and texture of the U3A in question, and they differ all over the peninsula and have different people, but they are all top class. At Athlone this year, we had an upcoming young author talk to us on Youth Day. And when we asked him particularly, what do you expect, what contribution do you think we can make? He was very clear. He said, people in their mature years should actually share their life experience with young people so that they don't make the same mistake, and make inputs into their lives and to celebrate them really. I think at U3A, because of the wisdom that we have, we're also able to read what's going on. You know, somebody like me, in 1974, 1970, I was at school. And so the student youth uprisings was something I contended with. So we have to read what's going on in our country. I think at this point in time, our constitution is a threat. And we simply can't wring our hands and hope for the toolies of this world and the judiciary to make it better. We have a role to play. And I think that as older people, we have a role to play in our families. We should nurture people in our families, the young people, foster education, read to grandchildren, be creative. I think we also have a role to play in our communities, school governing bodies, community policing forums, ratepayers. We have a definite role to play there. And then when it comes to our country, I think the role will change depending on what's going on in the country. I think right now we have a role to play in terms of supporting NGOs who have a role to play. For instance, a group of us are going to help the Cradle of Creativity taking place in May. We volunteer there and, you know, foster the arts. I also think that institutions or projects like Save South Africa, perfect matchup for something that we can do. Paul Hoffman has spoken to some of the U3As. You know, he wants to set up an institute to fight corruption. these are all things that I think that we can and will do.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for you today. You can catch us on our social media page to leave us thoughts about today's episode, or you can actually call us on 021 4488 711, 4488 711. So remember that you're never too old to make a difference, and please join us next week. So until then, take care.
Ganja